Alright guys, we are going to go ahead and do this Necro Healer build video. Uh, Keep in mind that I don't have everything leveled, and keep in mind that I am CP 730, so that my build will reflect that I'm a little short on my CP, as you can see. So keep all that in mind. We're gonna go ahead. People have been asking, and the longer I delay this, the more people are gonna ask, I guess. But even with what I have leveled, this build does work. Just when I do finally get everything leveled up, I will update it. It'll be like a shorter version of what I got going on here, right here in this video, but it will be updated as soon as I do level everything up. So we're going to start first with our unbuffed stats. This is in Cyrodiil. We are currently in Cyrodiil. This is my back bar. We're at 30, 30, 10 at about 1900 recovery, 400 health recovery, and about 700 stam recovery. I'm at almost 1400 spell damage. This is again on my back bar at that 19% crit. And 27, 24 respectively on resistance, and I'm sitting at 34 at my crit. On my front bar, which is my Resto Bar, of course, it's 30, 30, 10 at that 1900, same all around, except for I get a little more crit, spell crit, but a little less on the crit resist. 24, 21 respectively on my Resto Bar. I am currently running Witch Mothers. I know it took a nerf. I feel like it's good enough. If you do not want to run Witch Mothers, I would highly recommend, and I do run as well, the Clockwork Citrus Fillet. It is very expensive. Very expensive. However, you're going to get about 600 more in your max health, and about 400 more max Magicka, which, I mean, does make a difference, don't get me wrong. And you're also going to get an extra 400 health recovery. So for this build, I would be at like 700 recovery with the Clockwork Citrus Fillet on. You could also run your Crown Fortified Meal and switch your stone to the Atronach if you want. It's really up to you guys. It's your playstyle. You do you. I do me, right? That's kind of how we do this, right? That's what makes this game so great. We all have different ideas. With that said, I am running the Apprentice Mundus Stone, not the Ritual, for the spell damage. I feel like this gives me my heals just a little bit more punch. The Ritual is a good Mundus Stone, so if you want to run the Ritual, by all means, run the Ritual. However, the Necromancer has great healing done passives, and I feel like the Ritual is a little bit more overkill. And when you see some of the things I'm running, you'll understand that that little extra spell damage is gonna not go a long. I'm not gonna say a long way, but it's definitely gonna help. So there's that. So those are my stats on buffs. So let's go ahead and buff up. On my front bar, fully buffed, we are sitting at the same numbers up top, but we're at 29 and 27 respectively. And we are sitting at 21 recovery, and the stam recovery is now at 921. So a little bit of a difference there. Let's reapply them buffs. And on my back bar, we're sitting at 3230. And as you can see, our recoveries are going up. So those are my buff stats. So now we are going to go into the gear, and I'm going to go over a few different options because I've been testing, and I've come up with quite a few different ideas. This, however, is the setup that's working the best for me, but again, I'll give you some other options. Alright, so what am I running currently? So right now I am currently running the Seducer Resto Staff and Seducer Sword and Board. And on my shield, I'm running In-Pen with max Magicka. On my sword, I'm running defensive with some poisons. The poisons can vary depending on the situation. This particular poison I'm running right now is the Ravage Health poison, which It varies. On my Resto Bar, I am running the Crown Lethal, but for the most part, I do run the hindering poisons. On my Resto Bar, like I said, I'm running powered with the poisons. We all know what Seducer is. It's Magicka Recovery, Max Mag, Mag Recovery, and then reduces the cost of your Magicka abilities by 8%. With the Breton, this shit is fucking OP. Yes, it doesn't buff my teammates. No, it doesn't debuff the enemies. What it does, though, is it gives me a shit ton of sustain, and I can apply my buffs and my debuffs through my abilities, which now cost 8% less. So, no, it doesn't give you that immediate, like, buff like a transmutation would, or it doesn't give me the immediate resistance that some of my other options are going to give me. But this is for sustain and sustain only. It does great. It does work. The Breton plus Seducer's OP. Believe me, I honestly did not want to fall back on the Seducer, because in all my build videos, you're going to see Seducer and Breton, because it's a hell of a combination. It's OP as shit. I tried to stay away from Seducer the best I could. However, for me, this is what's working best. Alright, on my head, I am running Nerf Gore. Nerf Gore, everybody's hating on Nerf Gore, right? 4% done, healing done. Alright, so let's read this real quick. Let's read the nerf. When you heal yourself or an ally that is under 50% health, you conjure a pool of quenching blood underneath them, immediately removing all previous enemy-placed effects. I'm gonna stop right there. Immediately removing all, not one, all previous enemy-placed effects. This is a purge, cleanse, whatever. This, okay, guys. Yes, it's a single target now. Boo-hoo. We're all crying, right? It destroys our love for Earthgore in Dungeons and Delves and Trials. It doesn't destroy our dreams of small-scale PvP where we're running with 4, 5, maybe 6 people at a time, right? And suddenly this becomes viable again. So yes, it took a huge nerf. We're not going to deny the nerf that it took. However, this shit still works for me. It still works for me. Okay, so it removes all these effects, and it's healing the friendly target in the area for 37k health over 6 seconds. This effect may occur every 35 seconds, which is a long time in PvP world. 35 seconds is a long time. However, I really feel like this is working for me. If you don't like Earthgore, I will give you your other option, and that is Troll King. Of course, we know what Troll King does. It is your 4% healing done, and then when you heal yourself or an ally, if they are still below 50% health, their health recovery is increased by 1494, 1500 for 10 seconds. Okay? It's good shit. It's old reliable, as I call it. I've been running it for a long time now. In PvP, Troll King is king. So if you don't want to run Nerf Gore, by all means, the King of Kings, the Troll King, will work just as well. As you can see, I am running in pen. My head is currently at max health. However, when I have the gold, it'll be tri-stats. My chest is reactive in pen. Again, as you can see, it's max health. This will be tri-stat as well as soon as I have the money. Tri-stat glyphs are expensive. I have about 200k dumped into my Necro already. I am flat broke. So when I have the money, or the gold I should say, I will be switching this to tri-stats as well. Shoulders, of course, Nerf Gore. Waist is reactive, of course, in pen. Max mag. Hands, in pen, max mag. Legs will be tri-stat, currently max health, but will be tri-stat when I have the gold again. And then boots is max mag, in pen. Alright, so my neck, they're in blue here because, again, I'm broke. We have all 3 arcane Magicka recovery, all 3. Okay, so some sets we can run in place of what we're running, which is reactive. Seducer, of course, you could put on your body, and then you can run something else. On your weapons, like transmutation, which I do run, and we'll get to that. Or the other option is I run Armor Master, and then I would switch my passives all into light armor. And this is the 5th piece gives you that Nice little, while this is slotted, while an armor ability is slotted, your max health is increased by 5%, which is really nice. When you use an armor ability, your physical and spell resistance is increased by like 5k for 10 seconds, which is super nice, makes you super tanky in light armor. I was running this first. This is what I run on my Warden. It works okay. I just found that if I wasn't constantly keeping up my buffs, I was getting bursted very quickly. So in small scale, if you get bursted quickly, you're dead. That doesn't help anybody. So I switched to heavy, and then I switched to reactive. The fifth piece, okay, so reactive is max stam. I guess we should probably cover this. Max stam, stam recovery, max health, and then while you are affected by a disabling effect, your damage taken is reduced by 35%. Guess what, guys? I'm a healer. And if I ain't getting CC'd, I ain't doing my job, right? So this is up a lot. And suddenly I'm taking a whole lot less damage. So that's why I switched to reactive. So far, I really like it. It's really nice. I do like it. And it does give me that extra stam for blocking and break free and tumbling. So that's really nice. The set works really good for me. So on weapons and jewelry, as I said, you can run Necropotence because you're going to be running your Spirit Mender. You can run Transmutation. Either one of those are going to work. Necropotence, obviously, it's max mag all the way across, and then when you have a pet active, you get an extra 35 or 31 max mag, which is nice. Transmutation's fifth is, well, it's Magicka recovery, max mag recovery, and then... Oh, I'm reading Seducer. Holy shit. Okay. This is... Sorry about that. Mag recovery adds 800 spell crit, and then when you heal yourself or an ally with a healing over time ability, grant them 1200 critical resistance for 20 seconds, which is super nice. This plus armor mastery is ridiculously tanky. Again, though, if I didn't keep these buffs applied, I felt like I was just getting bursted. Don't get me wrong. Transmutation plus Armor Master is probably my favorite setup. This is what I'm running on my Warden. Like I said, I was running the same thing on my Warden. It just didn't really work on the Necromancer, or not like the way I wanted it to. So that's why I made the switch. So all right, so that's the gear, guys. Let's go ahead and go into abilities or skills, should I say? Wow, I'm really bad at build videos. You know that. Alright, so for my skills, and we're going to talk about other skills that you could potentially use in place of what we're doing. So on my back bar, I am running Hungry Scythe. Okay, so one of the things I was finding with the Necromancer is the lack of stuns, which for a while there I was actually running Resto Destro, so I could run the Lightning Staff, which you saw I had it in Transmutation, for the stuns, but I lose that extra tankiness, and I hate that. I absolutely hate feeling vulnerable at any point in time. So I switched back to Sword and Board, and you'll see that I actually have Destro leveled way higher than Sword and Board, because the plan was to go Destro, and then I got into PvP, and I was like, oh no, fuck this. I'm not doing this. Alright, so Hungry Scythe, it heals you for 4,600 health for the first enemy hit, an additional 1,500 for each additional enemy up to 5 times. After dealing damage, you heal for 800 health for every 1 second over 5 seconds. The healing of this ability scales off your max health. Okay, so that's nice, right? It's good. It's good. It does some work for you. If you don't like this, if you don't want to use the scythe, then my suggestion would be unnerving Boneyard here, which desecrates the ground at the target's location, dealing 1,400 frost damage for 10 seconds and applying major breach and fracture to enemies within their spell or physical resistance by 5,200. Consume a corpse on cast to deal 20% more damage. An ally standing in the graveyard can activate the Grave Robber synergy, dealing 6,700 frost damage to the enemies in the area and healing you for the damage done. So this is actually really nice and I go back and forth between these two, and that's why I'm saying if you don't want the scythe, go with Unnerving Boneyard, because it gives you that major breach and fracture, which is really, really nice. And it does a little bit of damage, and it could be a heal as well. So between scythe and Unnerving Boneyard, you really can't go wrong. So those are my two suggestions. This is basically like a flex spot. It's just your playstyle, you do you. If you don't want to run either one of these two, then my next suggestion would be the Agony Totem. And then that's to summon your totem. It gives you major protection to you and your allies for 8 seconds, reducing damage by 8%, which is really nice. After 2 seconds, the totem instills fear in enemies, holding them in place for 4 seconds, so here's your stun. Allies can activate Pure Agony, causing enemies to take 3,500 Magicka damage over 5 seconds. Apply minor vulnerability to them for a duration, increasing their damage taken by 8%. So again, this is really nice. The Necro actually isn't lacking in buffs and debuffs. You just gotta like do your work, and then the passives are actually going to help you as well. So, and we'll get into that a little bit. Passives, I don't really usually cover passives in my build videos, but the Necro's new to me. It's new to everybody, so we'll go over some of the passives as well. All right, so that's your first skill. Of course, you're going to run the Spirit Mender, which conjure up your little Mender here. It's going to heal you. While active, 10% of the damage you take is transferred to the spirit instead, which is really nice. So I have this up all the time. This basically is like my Blue Betty. Like, I'm constantly putting Blue Betty up. I'm constantly putting Spirit Mender up as well. Of course, you're going to run Expunge and Modify. This is nice because you're a healer. This is basically a free purge, which is really like, this is nice. This is really nice. If Earth Gore is popping for me or isn't hitting me, obviously I'm going to expunge constantly, honestly. Hey, get off my screen, okay? We don't care. We don't care about the scroll. I run Summoner's Armor. I don't like the one that pulls people to me. As a healer, I don't want to be focused. I don't want anybody around me. So wrap yourself in a hardened bone, granting you major resolve and major ward, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 50 to 100. Does this remind you of another ability? Yes, it reminds me of Ice Fortress as the Warden. Again, I try to play these two kind of similar. They're different, but they're very similar at the same time. I really feel like the Warden and the Necro have a lot in common. I feel like the Warden is a little better of a healer, but the Necro is definitely like I don't even know how to explain it. Like the upside down version of the Warden. You know what I'm saying? You Stranger Things fans out there, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, seriously. We get, okay, we just got disposed as it was Rick James. We don't, it's all right. It's fine. All right. Your last skill on your back bar is defensive stance, which bolsters your defense, reflecting the next spell projectile cast at you back at your enemy. The reflected spell stuns the enemy for 3.7 seconds. There's my stun. Like I said, I felt like I was lacking stuns. I found them. I really do like when it's like a flame breach coming at my dome and I hit it back at him. It's really nice. While you have a shield equipped, this ability slotted, the amount of damage you can block is increased by 8%, and the cost of blocking is reduced by 8%. Real nice because I can stack a little bit of my CP points in that too. Blocking can get very, very cheap, which is really nice. And then I am running the Glacial Colossus. I can do this, Eric. You can do this. You can read. You went to school. You can read. Anyway, we're running the Colossus. It's not so much for the stun. Kind of like the same premise as the Warden. I run Permafrost. Not so much for the damage, but for the major protection. This I'm actually running for the major vulnerability to the enemies. Hit for 3 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 30%. And I'm also running it because it stuns them. So the damage is minimal. The effects of the Colossus is huge. The stun and the major vulnerability, which is really, really nice. Okay, on to my front bar. On my front bar, we are running Inner Light for that major prophecy, we are running Blood Sacrifice. It does apply minor defile to you for 4 seconds, reducing your healing received. However, I have not found this to be an issue at all. And it is a self heal, and it is nice, and it does get you out of a bind. We're running Ward Ally. We all know what that does. Healing Spring, very basic. Mutagen, basic. And then I am running the Resto Ulti currently, but of course we have the Renewing Animation, which I do run as well, depending on my group. And we all know what this does. And it actually is... It's nice. Alright, okay, so it brings your allies back from the brink of death, resurrecting up to 3 allies at the target location. You restore 5,300 Magicka and stamina for each ally you resurrect. Okay, let's do the math here. If I hit 3 targets, you mean to tell me that I am getting back 16k mag and 16k stam? Well, shit, I don't even have 16k stam, so you're basically giving me all my stam back. That's nice. Thanks for that. And you're giving me half my mag back? Alright. Okay. Alright, I'm on board. This ulti is super fucking expensive though. At 335. Super fucking expensive. But OP as shit. I have turned battles around with this one. So like I feel like if I'm running in like a bigger group, this is more what I want. Because like they all go charging into that door and they get nailed with that oil, and then I'm just right there like, oh no, come on guys, get up, let's go, we're not done. And then I get all my resources back. So I really like this, I really do. And then of course I have barrier, which I haven't even really touched yet. I will level these will get leveled. Again, I just hit 50 on my Resto Bar the other day, so I just got that, so that's why we're so far behind. So alright, that's my skills. Let's talk a little bit about the passives. It's kind of important, so let's do that. Alright, we are going to talk about the passives, but we're going to breeze through them. I really hate long videos that like take forever, like build videos that are like in the 40-minute range. I find myself really bored. This one's going to be up there in time because I have a lot to cover, and I do want to throw a little gameplay at you as well. So, alright, so for the Grave Robber, we got these passives. They're really important. You need them all. So when you have these and they die, the cost is reduced by 20%. Increase critical strike chance against enemies under 25% by 10% for each Gravelord ability slotted. While Gravelord ability is slotted, activate your spell and physical penetration are increased by 1500, and then increase your damage done with damage over time effects by 10%. These are really nice. We want them. In here we got whenever an enemy you are in combat with dies within 28 meters of you, restore 200 magic and stam. This is nice. Reduce the damage you take from damage over time abilities by 10% while you have a Bone Tyrant ability active. Guess what, guys? We're gonna have that bone armor active all the time. So increase your healing received by 2% for each Bone Tyrant ability slotted. Right now we're at 0%, but if we switch bars, we go up to 4%. Same here. And then increase your max health by 600, and that's nice, right? Pretty good. I gotta get this. I'm at 47. I gotta get up to 50. So live and death. We want all these, of course. I actually have all these abilities unlocked. If you guys want to run Braided Tether, I love it. It's great. And then Renewing on Death is actually also really nice. It's really nice when there's corpse on the ground. So you can remove those negative effects. I do. You know how? You know me and my remove. I can't talk today, man. Maybe I should have did this like tomorrow. I thought I'd make a kick-ass build video tomorrow. Only I'm making it today, so I'm not gonna make it tomorrow. So just you get this less kick-ass one right now. Anyway, with Earth Gore and some of my other passives and abilities, I don't really need the negative effect removal from this. And the heal, it's basic. It's not that great. However, if you're not running the same things I'm running, and you're trying to be a necro healer and you want to remove negative effects for your small scale group, by all means, this is a kick-ass ability right here. And I really feel like this is more of a PvP heal. I can't remember what the other version is. Maybe that's more of a PvE heal, but this is definitely a PvP. I feel like this could be great in PvE. It's okay in PvP. It's okay. However, as you can see, while slotted, your healing done is increased by 3%. Again, this is one of those abilities I was talking about, that if you put it on there, you're already halfway to the ritual. The ritual really is not that necessary. So while you have a negative effect on you, your healing done is increased by 8%. There you go. When you do your bloodthirst and put that minor defile on yourself, it increases by 8%. It's really nice, right? There's your ritual. Boom. While you have a living death ability slotted, your critical strike chance with a healing ability is increased by up to 20% in proportion to the severity of the target's wounds. Dude, passive is amazing. Here's where my power heals come in. Everyone's like, man, your heals are hitting so hard. This is why. This is why. Alright, when you use an ability on a corpse, you generate 10 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 16 seconds. I wish it was shorter than 16 seconds, because let me tell you, Necro, your ultimates are fucking expensive. And I need all the help I can get. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's every little bit, right? And then while you have a Blastbone, Skeleton Mage, or Spirit Mender active, your mag and your stam recovery is increased by 200, which we saw when I popped my Mender on the fully buffed stats. Alright, those are the passives for the Necro. Obviously, the Sword and Board, you're going to want all the passives. I have nothing in my Resto Bar right now because I'm just low on skill points. Restoration Staff, you want all the passives except for Absorb. I have all these skills that I need for PvP. If I was to go in PvE, yes, I would want Combat Prayer. In PvE, not so much. Okay, so if you're running light armor, if you go with Armor Master or Transmutation, you're going to want all of these. And then, of course, you're going to want to run Harness Magicka. I have heavy armor on, so I have all those passives. Of course, I have to level my Psijic Order again, which I'm not too excited about, and my Undaunted. You're going to want your Undaunted, of course. I'm just not excited. In support, you're going to want Combat Medic and Battle Resurrection. I'm not a big fan of Magicka Aid. It's just not that exciting to me. I do also have Purge unlocked. I will eventually level that as well. You're going to want all your skill, or your Breton skills, all your passives, and then in Alchemy, of course, you're going to want 3 skill points in that medicinal use, which is OP as fuck. Alright, those are all my passives, those are all my skills. Let's talk gameplay. Alright guys, of course we're always going to want to be on our back bar, which is the sword and shield, up until the point where we do need to heal. So we're going to constantly keep applying our buffs, and then we'll go over to our bar, and that's when we will do our healing. Keep in mind we're slightly more vulnerable here, so we're going to always have our ally ward up as well. And that's basically it. When you are in the middle of a group, or you got somebody applying pressure on you, that's when you're going to use your scythe. Just get them off you, let them know that you're not fucking around. And then anytime anybody is stacked, that's when you're going to use your Colossus. How did I get 2 Colossus? Did I actually use Colossus twice on accident while I was making my video? I think I did. But anyway, if they're stacked up, that's when you're going to want to hit that Colossus. That way you can put the stun on the group. And basically that is it, guys. Of course, we are running the Tri-Stat potions that I get from all those crown crates and whatnot. They are my favorite. They do. If I was to have fully buffed stats, I should have popped those, I guess. I guess we could do that right now. So here we go. So with the pop, you can see that my stam recovery is up over 1,000. My mag recovery is at 2,400, which is a huge difference. There you go. So that would be technically fully buffed Eric. I wish I would, you know, I'm such a noob when it comes to these build videos, I swear. But that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and go into some gameplay. Like right now. Okay, champion points. I guess I forgot to do that. But did I? Did I forget? Yeah, no. Alright, 18 in Warlord, 9 in Bash. This is really up to you guys how you guys want to do this. 37 in Tenacity, 100 in Archimist, 43 in Mooncalf, 19 in Healthy, and then 13 in Shadow Ward. 4 in Tumbling. Once I get another skill point, this will be up to 2%. Alright, 100 in Elfborn, 100 in Blessed. Ignore the 1 in Spell Erosion. 19 Spell or Staff Expert, and then 23 in Mighty, because we are running poisons. I have 11 Ironclad, 77 Spell Shield, 64 in Resistant. I have none in this tree, and then we have 77 in Heavy Armor Focus and 15 in Quick Recovery. And those are my CP points. Nothing special there. You do you. This is me. This is my build video. Alright guys, even before you go through that door, always puff up. That way you know if the opposition's right out there waiting for you, you're ready. Alright, as you can see right away, Reactive's doing some great work in that stun. I pop that Colossus. I take a few people with me, which is really nice coming from the healer. I bet those guys didn't even see that coming. As usual, I'll find myself kiting around these pillars. Sometimes rocks, sometimes walls, and if I can heal through those, I like to do that. I like to be very kitey. I like to keep myself out of the opposition's heat. That way I can heal and not worry too much about my self heals when I could just focus on the group because I have things in between me and that opposition. As you can see, I am very kitey. You can see Reactive just doing tons of work right now, keeping me very tanky. I'm glowing blue. That's a good sign. I don't even have ally ward up right now. I'm so confident in what I'm doing. It's just crazy. You can see I'm OCD about applying my buffs, keeping them constantly up. Here I will always apply that pressure with those heavy attacks because I'm constantly like getting my resources back, but also putting on a lot of pressure because I am running those heat or those poisons on that resto. So I'm always constantly applying that. Here I am putting the sight down, keeping my heals up, applying a little bit of pressure on that enemy. There you see I help him take him down. I'm doing really, really good. I'm doing a lot of work here. You can see my heals are hitting super hard. And we are keeping this group alive. They have no idea who I am. I'm just some random healer helping them through this. Here we go. Here's the Goliath. This shit is fucking cheesy as shit. Can't stand the bash. Part of the game right now. We're going to deal with it. I'm going to heavy attack him because he's like an ulti generator here. Just build my ultis up. Got him up. Ready to go. This guy can die now. Let's go, guys. Come on, DC. Let's get this guy out of the way. Put my scythe on him. Get my dirty paws on him. Down he goes. We're gonna head back to the nickel here because that's where the group is. I got this little group taking some pressure. I'm gonna give them some healing springs. I'll come over here, give this group a little healing springs. As you notice, I don't have my buffs applied, so here I go. I gotta reapply them, keeping that pillar between me and the opposition, healing through that pillar. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna help this guy. We're gonna apply some heavy, get some resources back. Kind of turn the corner. I see a blast bone's coming, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it down. It doesn't hit its target. Doing all sorts of work. Finally starting to apply my healing ward. Feel like maybe the pressure is a little hot coming from the front there. We're going to go off to the side. We're going to keep this group healed. Keep the healing springs down on the ground. Once again, throwing out my heavies. Constantly putting my heavy attacks into enemy players. Constantly putting up my buffs. Here I am going to duck behind that tree for a couple seconds so I can apply my buffs. Go right into the heat. Not too worried. Reactive's doing his job. Get stunned here. Go ahead. Get behind this tree again. Apply a little bit of my buffs, go right back into the heavies. Going to help this group push. We're going to keep pushing, going to keep pushing. Yellow, this is the one dangerous healer right here, guys. Alright, thank you for watching my build video. I will talk to you later. Peace.